And we have not even, I have not even had time to listen to what they are saying, because we are busy, because they are diverting us.
Those were President Yoweri Museveni's words on Wednesday as he responded to a question by NTV Uganda on the raging debate on whether to remove the 75-year age limit for one to seek the presidency. Whereas the president said he has not keenly followed the debate, political analyst Irene Avonji, who is the executive director of the Federation of Women Lawyers, FIDA Uganda, says the president is not being honest. She argues that there were similar moves in 2004 and 2005 before Parliament amended the Constitution and removed the 5-year term limit for the president.
You're in charge of things. We have seen you when there's something you want, you push it and it gets done. Come out, denounce it, repeat what you said. After he has already said it before, he said it, I think it was a couple of years ago when he was interviewed, that he thinks at 75 a person is too old, you cannot think you're tired. Repeat it now.
President Museveni has always denied certain instances. For example, I recall when the NRC, they wanted to extend the time of the NRC in the late 1980s. President Museveni said, that is impossible. I'm here for only 4 years. They cannot do it. That is speculation. We come to 1996, I think after 96, when they said, Mr. President, are you standing again in 201? He said, no, I'm retiring. After 1996, I'm gone. Yeah? So we've seen Mr. Museveni always saying, now let's wait for the people to talk.
But proponents of the lifting of the presidential age limits, like the Presidential Private Secretary David Mafabi, say the proposal needs to be debated without any fear, since debate is healthy.
So it's not that the issue is not there. It's not that the constitutional amendment process is not on. It's definitely on. So there's no doubt about that. It's on. Well, and you've got to bear in mind that in 2015, we had a very comprehensive constitutional amendment bill, and Parliament decided to stand over it so that these proposals would be given sufficient time in this new term. So this process is there, and it's coming, it's on. There's no doubt about it.
We, the believers who want stability to continue in this country, we, the believers who feel he has not yet accomplished some of the tasks we have, and yet there's an impediment in the Constitution, are the ones who have come out to speak for him, not to speak for him, to speak for the nation. So, for him as a person, he can think, he can even think of to retire, but we, the ones who feel we need him to continue steering the country, nobody can stop us from discussing, from speaking about some of these things. And I also want to urge him to allow us to do our work. We know what he has done for this country, we know what he's still to do for this country, so he should leave us.
In question. Believe it or not, the country is at crossroads, and people would like answers to the most pertinent question, and the question is governance and transition. The president ought to respond to that.
But I think Mr. Museveni should be honorable enough to say he's tired. I'm sure even within himself, he knows he's tired, because at 75, he's not young.
According to Mafabi, the debate should even be expanded to include removing the lower presidential age limit as well, which the Constitution puts at 35 years.
We do not want people to look at this process just as an issue about the presidency, which is very important by the 102B. But there are other matters, not just the upper limit. There is also the lower limit. Maybe learning from countries like Kenya, we could look at that. Lowering the lower age from 35 maybe to 18.
But Avonji took a swipe at Mafabi and others like him who are civil servants but are engaged in a partisan debate, advancing the interests of the ruling NRM party.
As public officials, they actually have no right to speak on such matters, because their jobs expressly are meant to be non-partisan. If you're employed in State House as a presidential aide or whatever it is, or you're an advisor, you do not you're not there to advise him as the chairman of NRM.
Now, while the president's supporters argue that Uganda cannot afford to lose the key human resource in Museveni merely on account of age, his critics feel that the president should give way to new blood and fresh ideas in tandem with the modern era to steer Uganda to greater heights. Shidan Hoshire, NTV.